Y'all. I got a whole testimony. A whole testimony. Not just half, not just part, entire and more. Because what? God is God of abundance. Satan is a lowercase g God of lack. Okay? So, I do not like to speak on my son's father. I like to leave the past in the past. But when I can share my testimony with somebody, that's what I'm gonna do. So Jesus came for the sick, right? My son's father, he gave me this whole he was just like, it was a lot of pressure. He had a lot of mommy issues, okay, y'all? A lot. And so basically his mom was like, this city girl type of vibe, doing like manifestation, and so I believe in Jesus, okay? I do not believe that I can save myself, okay? I am not God. However, she was into that, and her family was like, strict Catholic. And, I never met her, it's no judgment to her. Maybe she was trying her best. I don't really, I'm not really here to talk about that. Gilly, can you stop? So I'm not here really to talk about that. So the way that I did hear about her though, she, Gilly, what? So, hold on. So the thing that I would really be hearing though was that she was not, she was falling to a lot of money. That was her temptation. Like literally, getting married for, just falling to a lot of material stuff. And so he would try to like literally like be worshiping her and stuff. But the thing that I didn't understand was the fact that I literally went through the pandemic. He said if I got us sick, he was going to leave me. Guess who got us sick, y'all? The person that be in everybody's face. Not I, okay? Got us sick. I literally prayed over him when he was like sleeping. Was just touching him, Holy Spirit. And he woke up. He was great. By the time it got to me, or then I got it, and I don't think that it was like so terrible for me. That was one thing though, when I was sick, he would not like take care of me, but that's not what I'm here to talk about either. By the time I got to my son though, it was like already just the demon was, yeah, baby, bye-bye. So yeah, so all the time he would insist like, we gotta eat right. Like, dude, we don't even own a house. I mean, like, even to be obsessing over this is not godly. And the fact that he's seen healing, right? And so he would tell me, oh, well, that doesn't work. My mom tried that. Your mom did not put faith in Jesus, baby. So what I'm going to tell y'all next, brace yourself. This is graphic. This is spiritual warfare. This is attack. And God had revealed to me it was a spirit of divination and control. Okay? So like I said, very religious people, his grandparents, his mom's parents. And so I had actually went to, Gelly, can you please, mommy's almost done, okay? I'm going to give you the phone when I'm done, okay? Okay? I'm sorry, y'all. My son, he has he has like emotional problems because of, you know, the situation. Like I said, I try my hardest to prevent this. Maybe someone needs to hear this testimony right now, but I try my hardest to prevent this, because when I met him, I thought that we had an agreement. We both didn't want a broken home. So how is the only way to do that? With Jesus, okay? Otherwise, you guys are gonna have emotional problems. You guys are gonna, you know, not really have true heart after each other. You guys are gonna be lustful. You know, it's not gonna be a safe home. You know, he stole the coochie, y'all. He lied. He told me he was married. Blah blah blah. So, and then he tries to basically blame me, and it's basically like a Muslim view, like, oh, it's because I wasn't covering my beauty, like I was tempting him. So it basically goes back to that Catholic religious spirit of worshiping Mary. Worshiping Mary. So instead of focusing on Jesus and taking up your cross and denying yourself and preparing for the coming back, it's a lot of worshiping Mary. But the thing that my problem was about it was that what I seen with that was you're putting the women, basically putting the women on a pedestal. And that was their way of doing that. So putting women on a pedestal, but what I seen it turn into was they couldn't handle it, because then the women become too full of themselves. They become Jezebel, or they become Jezebel spirit. So with that becoming Jezebel spirited, basically what he had for me is, I let you do dirt. Why can't I do dirt? I'm not a religious person, baby. Okay, I have the Holy Spirit. I'm not just doing this to get brownie points. I'm not just doing this to have status. So, I'm sorry, that went for a whole loop. But basically, when I first met them, I was like, wow, this is so great. Like, you know, these people are actually, you know, they're actually, you know, helpful. Like, you know, there was actually, like, it was just a nice picture. It was a nice image. Excuse me. And so when I was in Young Life, it kind of hurt me a lot, because, you know, they were great people. I will say that. They were great people. At least my Young Life leader, you know, she was a beautiful hearted woman, you know. However, I asked her about the oppression, and I wouldn't really say that she was an oppressor, okay? She lived in Virginia Beach. So I wouldn't really say that she was like super oppressor or nothing. You know, she wasn't like a racist person, nothing like that. But it was just like giving privilege. And so when I asked her about it, she really couldn't tell me nothing. And so that really broke my heart, and it made me lose a lot of faith in the church. So basically when I met them, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like, and it's basically like, I guess, you know, a very surface level Christian. Yeah, so whenever I met them, and I had a lot of like codependency issues. So whenever I met them, and that's what my son's father broke me out of, because I literally thought, I'm a Christian, I need to do everything for everybody. Like, I need to help anybody however I can help anybody. So when I met his family, they're in the city and stuff. So it's very much like a Catholic spirited, like, type of thing. And so that's why I said not every person that I've met up here in the North, I would say is, you know, totally supportive. But God has definitely aligned things. And up here, I guess they have the resources, okay? They have the resources. Like I said, in the South, in the South, I would say, like I said, things have been torn down a lot. You know, it's not very prosperous. And it just felt pretty much cursed to me. Like, it was just not giving what it was supposed to. And I just feel, you know, belonging to here. Like I said, I do want to remove the Mason-Dixon line, literally. But I don't know, just up here, I just feel more in touch with the movement that I feel like is necessary, like, for my native people. I don't know, I just feel more at home. Sorry for that whole rant. But recently, I had been craving the beach, y'all. I had been craving the beach. And I still was feeling like this guy has some serious emotional issues. He needs, faith can fix this, right? And he would act like he was accepting faith. He would act like I said, he was just giving like, oh, I'm just traumatized, And so like I would just go to every measure. Okay, because people, every time that he would get it was like when someone was doing something that was not, it was not like godly or whatever. And and he had me thinking, he was just vulnerable. He was being taken advantage of, when females would talk to him, weakness because of being so used to Jezebel spirited women. And so I would really continue to fall for this. But then I realized, that I also had fallen to this kind of, because my mom was kind of the same way. And yes, my mom lives in the South. However, my grandmother, my Native American grandmother, her mom, she was Catholic as well. And so she was just rest in peace. But, she was a very mean woman. She was bitter. She had bad attitude and stuff. My ice cream. Okay, we'll go to the store today. And so what I would say to that is that, I wouldn't say, in the end of the story, I wouldn't say that I'm making excuses for that man, right? Because at the end of the day, I asked him when I met him, don't get in my bed with that. I asked him when I met him, did he believe in the Bible? And so I don't know if he has some twisted concept or whatever, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. Like I said, I came here to talk about something very specific. So we end up going, and we can also check on your grandmother, because I think we hadn't been there for some time, or the last couple of times that we went, we didn't even see her, and she's been in the nursing home. And they're very up there in age. And for me, that was another one of my weaknesses, because my grandmother, she died when she was in her 70s, and she was almost 80, but it was from a lot of stress and stuff. And I just really believe in family and being there for your family. I think that my dad almost gave me that weakness though, because I had this real codependency real bad, and it was because my dad was really sheltering me a lot and whatnot. So long story short, we get there, we go to see his grandmother, and she was being real weird, y'all. So first of all, she takes us to this other, not her room, right? And I guess she didn't like the person that she was being roommated with. And it was just this, this very, you can tell, timid type of person, and probably doesn't even like to be roommated with her. But, the crazy part about this person, I'm going to tell you this is what happened at the end when we were about to leave from there. I went to take her back to her room before we left. And, she was like, I seen the person telling me, don't do it. And I was like, God. Because whenever I first, like I said, I have real bad codependency issues. And it was a lot of really, I told my kingdom spouse, it was a lot of dealing with being so dependent on material stuff, because my dad had also done that to me. So another thing that had been revealed to me when I first tried to leave him, and this is a lot of reason why I kept falling back to him, because I was like, God, the provision is not there. How do you expect me to leave when I can't even so I can be without, so I can be it was just basically being spoiled. And so what had been revealed to me was a dark man. And I'm not talking about no color. I'm talking about dark spirit, okay? Dark spirited man. And so my grandmother, her man was, he's almost white as paper, right? But that man's KK or in Aryan supremacy. He used to beat her so bad till she had brain aneurysm and died from it. Okay, I wouldn't say till, but it happened years later. Even after she had tried to leave him and whatnot. And like I said, she was not, this God fearing. She was not. No, she was more religious than spiritual. No healing there. My mom, she has literally been, her body has been suffering. She told me never let myself go for a man. That was her one advice for me. As much as she would tell me, she told me so. To get emotional, y'all. But at the end, she's telling me something has to break. Something has to break. My mom is even telling me, like, we can't go there. We don't. How can we go stay with her when she already got so much on her plate? And I guess she knows that I'm capable. But she just told me something has to break, and I guess it's the same way saying, God, how do you want me to take my daughter back in when it's not even gonna, when it's not gonna make ends meet, right? When she can't even, stay on her healing journey. And so I wouldn't say like, that my mom was totally right or nothing, but I see the part where she's like hurting because my mom has been saved. My mom is not. I'm not really sure if my grandma was ever saved, okay? I'm not really sure about that. I would say that she was a very worldly person, almost. I see so much healing, so much shalom in my mom's life, and that's what Jesus left to us, okay? I had someone tell me one time, oh, that's a Hebrew word. Child, well, I'm a follower of Christ. I'm a true believer of Christ, and I'm sorry if it's using a word that's not American. But Jesus was not American. I mean, okay, so anyways, like I said, that person, I was seeing them say, don't do it. I was just like, because God told me, pay attention to the signs. So one of the huge signs was when God sent my kingdom spouse. When I had dreams of him being a true follower of Christ, of my son's father literally following the fallen angels. He didn't claim any religion, right? And I don't really have nothing to say about that. So, think what you will, or take that in for yourself. But he was obsessed with Anunnaki, which is really fallen angels trying to take credit for God's creation. Okay? Or just focusing on them and not God. So, sorry, I was checking something. We about to get to that. So, I'm talking too much. So, we go to the other room. She says she insists that we go to her sister's room. We're over there, and her sister's roommated with someone that she actually knows. That's actually part of the family. Automatically, I see they are trying to team up, child. Automatically, I feel the tension. I feel the hate. I feel the judgment. For not being so high, like not being so up, And so I'm just like, Well, next thing you know, they start saying funny little stuff. And then I'm getting stares, real long stares. And then the grandmother, she's supposed to have Alzheimer's or something. I had actually kind of been praying for her, but for some reason, it was just, like I said, like, there was really never no real connection, which is why I don't feel like I'm a true kingdom spouse, because I was literally deceived. He told me we was married. My little vulnerable self believed him, okay? It's very much giving Eve fell in the oppression, but Eve need to get back. And that's why I preach so much about the wisdom about the being free from enslavement. And so we going into more and more being there. Was there for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And while this is all happening, I start to cramp. Now, mind you, I have a IUD. I haven't had my period for months. While I was there, that was the only time that I was cramping. Like, it was like literally like when I was dealing with them. And so whenever I met him, another thing was, well, first of all, he tried to get me to read the Tanakh. I'm sorry, but they're really they have antichrist spirit. They don't believe that Jesus was the Savior. And so in this book it said no fruit will come from this situation. God bless me with my son. Okay. Now that was in that book. Now my Bible, I read innocent blood being shed over and over again. God was showing me that. I'm like, God, am I really, and this just shows it's God, it's the true colors, of God's people. And so take it because I'm living proof that God will never give you too much that you can't handle. God will always, use that to bless you with the enemy intended for harm. And so, you guys, innocent blood being shed over and over again. I'm seeing this. And I'm talking, I used to open my Bible all the time since I was little, since I first got saved. And even when I was reading my Bible to my sister when I was first got saved, like I said, like 9th grade. And my mom comes, oh, you're just going to go back out partying. Like, why are you, and I think it's really trauma, like with her mother, because she was supposed to be Catholic, but they literally was on hard drugs and was living in 48 out of 52 states, and literally left her when she was only 12 years old. So I think that's some trauma so because my mom used to party a lot. That's how my dad got custody of me. Trying to see a no real Christian made it real difficult, I guess. So no real love light. So I opened my Bible that time, and it was like God spoke directly to me saying, I can't remember exactly what it was, but God literally spoke directly to me. Okay, God would do this over time. And I was trying to share the gospel with my sister. It was a good thing. So obviously I'm reading the Bible. So then the other thing that I would see, innocent blood being shed and perverting their humble ways. So instead of being all materialistic, covering head to toe like a nun or something, just because, I'm a beautiful woman, even if I am modest, he was basically, basically it's your fault that I raped you. It's your fault that I took advantage of you. It's your fault. You put yourself vulnerable because you are a beautiful woman. No. So, why did I just go off on a tangent? Oh, yeah, the innocent blood being shed. So, anyways, I start cramping real bad while I'm there. Child, I go home, or we get to the house and stuff, and I notice, and I'm just like, what in the world? And so I would try to just have humble conversation with her. I had even made like this really pretty card for her, and I had set it down with her gift bag that his aunt had put there. And I thought his aunt was really nice too. She had sent us some money when we was really in need and stuff like that. And she seemed like she was like a good person, like a regular person. So I'm just like I set it down there, and I'm like, okay, there's her stuff, her gifts or whatever. We got to take back to the room when we go back. Well, he picks up, he's like, she's gonna forget this. I'm like, what? he literally, I didn't see him do this, but he folds it up and put it in his pocket. I'm like, really? How rude. Like, you know, I had made that, and we're leaving when we're walking her back, and I was like, I was like, you're so irresponsible. And it's not even, but it's the, excuse me, it's not even the fact that you're just irresponsible, it's the fact that you are claiming, like, you didn't even have to take that on. Like, I'm not mad at you because you don't have self, because you are traumatized, and you, you know, whatever, go out looking for him. Very clearly, he approached me. So, it wasn't that I was judging him, okay? It wasn't that I was, anytime, it wasn't that I was asking him to do nothing, but the fact that you come and you insist and you take that responsibility on because you insist, and then you misuse that was where the problem lied. And so that was what was given very much serpent in the garden. And so basically, yeah, I was bleeding. And then I was doing well. You know, I was staying in faith, and any little thing with him that was off, I was like, hey, nope, that's not what we're doing, baby. And he would, you know, correct himself. And it was so irresponsible that he wanted us to go back in the car. We had a nice little spot, you know, was comfortable, whatever. And basically because he had chose to go out and do what I do not approve of. He had chose to go out and get talking to everybody out there. He didn't want to go back to that room because we had split up and whatever. And we were not even staying there together like that. You know, I was planning on, as soon as I got my housing, in town, I wouldn't need rides and stuff anymore, so I would just be going there. We would be going there by ourselves. But here goes this pity party again. Oh, well, the woman outside, she was trying to get me to go sleep in her room. I'm not going back there. I'm not going back there. I'm not going back there. Like, he's just like, oh, she was trying to touch me, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so you telling me you want me to go to, the only other option is to go to a ratchet ass city or to sleep in the car. Okay? And you telling me that because you chose to be irresponsible and out of control, that you think I'm going to take my son back to that you think that I'm going to go back to not being able to take showers in my face, getting out of control, breaking out. You thought. No. Blocked. So, not only did that happen, but they was saying some real weird stuff. They was saying some real sneaky stuff, okay? When we was in that room, they were saying some real sneaky stuff. So actually what they had said was, I feel like that's giving honor to that manipulative spirit. Even the grandfather, he was aware of what was happening. And like, yeah. I'm not gonna go there. But what I will say is that the moment that I had gone there and the moment that I allowed him to start to mess up my peace again, allowed him to start to throw off my focus on God again, at one point I had a lump in my breast, okay? It's gone now. But at one point I had a lump in my breast. So at first, whenever I got here, so this didn't happen until the past few weeks, right? I'm gonna lay down, y'all, because girls get it. So this happened in the past few weeks. So as soon as I started letting him stress me out again, as soon as I started to feed into him again, and I wouldn't say that knowing that my mind knew, because it was a lot of mental attack, and we know this generation has a lot of mental attacks as well. And so me trying to stand in the gap for my sister too, that has been very like challenging as well. But you know, spiritually I knew like it was not feeling like I said, I have received the dream and everything. And so spiritually I knew like, God, this is not, I wouldn't even say that actually. I would say that God used this as a sign. So yeah, as soon as I was feeding back into that, God used this as a sign, because I would try to and it was honestly probably because I wasn't standing up. It was probably because, you know, he would try to have, you know, sex and stuff. And even if I wasn't like enjoying it or something, or even if I was just trying to, you know, just give him the benefit of a doubt and stuff, it was just like, you know, allowing that demon to my temple is probably what was bringing that. And so I can't even talk about this. This is how you know, like, this is really something that God was working on me in, because child, the oppression. And like I said, you know, my grandmother, you know, she was taken out of her home from Catholic people and stuff like that. But these people, they like literally, you know, they literally still, you know, are supporting, like, you know, the Catholic Church and everything. My grandmother, she wasn't in church and stuff like that. She was not going to the church. Okay, 1 second. I'm almost done, okay? So yeah. As soon as I was feeding back into that, look, and I'm telling my testimony, when I felt it midway through when I was talking about them, that's why I said I didn't want to glorify what they were saying and stuff like that, because that was irrelevant, because God is above that. Witchcraft spirit, God is way above that, and God's made that very, 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 very clear to me during this situation. I've been praying for that. I've been praying over that for months and months and months. So, okay, 1 second, Gilly. So, yeah, I had a real big lump, and it was literally to the point where this breast was bigger, and like noticeably bigger. And so I'm like, wow, really? And so last night, so previously when we first got here to Vermont, and I was staying at that real nice place where I had the fountain and stuff like that, when I was staying there, I actually had ended up going to, like, I wanted some weed, okay? I wanted some weed. And now God has shown me I need to stop depending on that stuff. I need to stop depending on anything for his healing, because it's allowed a real bad mental attack. Because then when I'm relying on anything else for my need, and I'm also freeing my kingdom spouse from this, but it's because I had the provision now. So it's like, you don't need to, I don't know. I really don't know, okay? I wouldn't even say weed. I would just, yeah, honestly, I would. You know, I'm in the promised land, okay? And Rasta say that's to help us cope. But you in the promised land, baby. You don't got to cope no more, okay? That's the one thing I just got to say. So, and, you know, if you stand focused in Bible time, and so, yeah, scratch that. You're staying focused in Bible time. You're staying focused on the love of Jesus. You don't need that. The Herbs of the Healing the Nation is really about, you know, eating right. But also maybe even the tree that, you know, talks about in Revelation, the tree of life. But anyways, I don't know. I may still smoke weed, but I don't know. I think I just won't drink alcohol anymore. But yeah, I didn't come to talk about this either. But the thing was that I had literally went to, oh, and that was the crazy part, is that he actually, like, he was really bad for, like, pinching me and stuff. And, like, he would claim it was, like, playing, but, like, I bruise real easily. That hurts me. Like, can you stop doing that? So one time he had twisted my breast real bad. So I think what it was me allowing the enemy to word, y'all. I think it was allowing the enemy to have dominion in my promised land. Okay, allowing the enemy to have dominion in my promised land. So I'm not sure why it says the herbs will be the healing nation. I do feel like weed is like, yeah, honestly I do. Because people say like, oh, you need to be so, well, I don't know. I guess that goes back to being vigilant and sober. So I don't know why it says that in Genesis, but going back to being vigilant and sober. So leave a comment if you do have something to say about it. But being vigilant and sober, something that's not just hate. So being vigilant and sober, to not stand the enemy's attacks. I don't know. But I feel like now if I'm in the promised land, I feel like that's like, I don't know, y'all. Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's maybe mishandling. I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like it. I feel like it's a lot of mental healing, honestly. A lot of getting in that state of peace and just relaxing. Even like I said, like with drinking, like I don't feel like it's bad to drink. I know I'm going off on another tangent, y'all. I don't feel like it's bad to do these things. Like I said, it's not bad to have money. So when God has blessed you with these things, and it's not just something that you're just going out of your way to worship and just spend all your money on and just be ridiculous with, I think that's when it becomes an issue. So yeah, I think that was really the issue was, it was that, this way that I ran into it was, kind of people pleasing. And I would say because I was around bad company. But what had happened was, so whenever, okay, so that makes a little more sense. So if Jesus left us with the shalom, okay, so that makes more sense. So yes, Jesus left us with the shalom, right? But the healing of the nation. I don't know, because I don't even feel like it's really bad to take in tobacco. It says that can be, I don't know, it says that smoking can be cancerous and stuff like that. But I feel like that's when you're doing it for like not the right intentions. Like I feel like when you're, I don't know, y'all. Maybe not. Maybe what I've been so used to, maybe this is that partying spirit that God is trying to break me out of, okay? But at the same time, y'all, I feel like the fact, okay, so this was the one thing. This makes sense now. So I was being too lazy and I didn't really trust. So I could have walked to get CBD. It was Mother's Day. But I could have walked to get CBD. But the thing was, Gilly, can you go in your bed and do that? Because you're talking and I'm trying to talk. Thank you, please. So I could have walked, but I was like, no, I would just rather, see if somebody closer can maybe give me a ride to the dispensary or something. And so I really could have walked, but I had chose to do that. So I think that was where my downfall was. I didn't mind to go into bad company. I didn't mind to take a bribe. And I was kind of feeling so pressure in the CBD shop. And I did end up going there. Well, first of all, we ended up finding one that was really good there. But when I did end up going there, Gilly, go in your bed and do that. I'm trying to talk, and you're talking. Shh. So whenever I went there, whenever I ended up going there, I actually end up feeling like I really ended up blessing the person there, because there was a person of, you know, there was just kind of, you know, there was not no religious hypocrite, there was not no oppressor, none of that. So I feel like maybe that's why God was like, look, this is what happens when you're dealing with the wrong people. And I think this is really God trying to remove that Antichrist out. Like, you know, that spirit that is trying to hold on to the world so bad, is trying to build up their Tower of Babel, right? It's trying to, they're just trying to have grips on, they really are. They're trying to have grips on, they do not want God's people to rise, right? They're trying to keep that oppression so bad. And then another thing in Revelation, so they claimed in Portugal, which is his grandfather is actually Portuguese, like a lot of Portuguese, because he's world light. So go over there, Gilly. So actually, I'm sorry, I'm taking a little bit, but mommy's trying to talk. I'm sorry, y'all. So in Revelation, it was talking about how the beast or whatever was allowed to do some crazy things. It was allowed to send fire down and all this crazy stuff. And come in an angel of light, right? We know Satan can come as an angel of light. So they claimed that the Virgin Mary came and told them, started this whole Catholic thing and told them they had to pray for her and she was the only one that could achieve peace. All this blase blah, right? The beast was allowed to do this stuff. So these people are worshiping money. And the whole town is allowed to, or the whole town is claiming that this really happened. There's that answer right there. So you guys, hallelujah. So I just thought about the title and I'm just like, wow, this is a big word, y'all. So listen, that night, this is how I found out about this, and this is where this video is gonna end. So whenever I had chose to do that, whenever I chose to go back to that and blah blah, and basically the girl had reminded me of my sister, but that's not my true sister. That's my sister that has been peer pressured and all this stuff. And yeah, so I'm not really gonna go into deep detail about that. But basically I end up going back to house, and I noticed that she was like really weirdly trying to like attach herself to my son, and I was like, no, like he has, and that girl, she was gay. And she said, is it okay if I call him can he call me mommy? Can I, like, and I was like, he's probably not gonna call you that. He might call you TT, but that's about it. And so, you know, whenever she was kind of struggling in her relationship, I let her know. I was like, you know, that's not biblical, right? You know that the Bible says that homosexuality is not right. Okay, that's not, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So I didn't say that, but yeah. So I'm not here to, you know, bash anybody. I know people can have trauma. I know people can, you know, be damaged sexually and stuff like that, and I'm not here to bash anybody. But, and so long story short, even though, and I had actually received this word, you can't be friends with the devil. So even though I wasn't really, this is a word, child. There's a lot of sneaky friends out there. Beware, friends. And so, even though I was trying to address her, right, in a nice way, God doesn't call us to be lukewarm, y'all. God does not call us to be lukewarm. God does not call us, bad company corrupts good habits. Unless you're going there to spread the gospel, and wiping your feet and leaving. If they don't accept, right, then don't be there. Well, so I wouldn't really say that this was, I would say God kind of used the situation. I wouldn't even say that girl was particularly bad, but I would say that was not what God, I don't know. I think I was getting burned by the fire, pulling people out or something, because like I don't know. She was giving very much like, I don't know. I think even maybe her girlfriend or some, I think she didn't like that I was, being around her and stuff, because, the girl, she was scared to like ever hang out and stuff. And I know how that is. You don't trust your person at home, and you have codependency issues and whatnot, right? So that was kind of how he had me to stop working too, was because every time I work, he like, you can't text me back, but when I'm at home and you're at work, if I don't constantly text you, but when you're at home and I'm at work and I'm trying to hit you up, you just act like I'm being annoying or something, like you too busy. And it was like, I know that you wasn't busy too. So anyways, y'all, long story short, and then also when I was working, he would work less. So it was like he wanted me to work more. It was just a whole mess. But yeah, that's not what I was getting into. Anyways, not glorifying the Antichrist. So, child, I got real sick. Okay. It was after me seeing her demons. And I think it literally just jumped onto me. I seen this video talked about before. Yes, demons jump. And that's literally how it felt happen. Because I feel like so y'all. Anyways, I got real sick. Like, I'm talking, I projectile vomited. I never in my life have I seen that before. So, I think it was because her body was not being treated as a temple, right? And so yeah. So sharing, snacks or anything, yeah, it's like that, y'all. So, literally, I feel like, so we got back to the room, right? I think it was like that night, and the next day, both me and Gilly had thrown up, right? Well, I was just literally in bed all day. I had kind of told her, I'm like, yeah, girl, like, I think I kind of got sick or something. I just been resting because I don't know what's going on. And she kind of had the feeling that she needed to leave that situation too, but for whatever reason, she was just really holding on to that. It really had a grip on her, and I think it was a lot of fear. I think it was a lot of, just illusion, oppression, deceit that was attacking her. And so, anyways, like I said, we had got sick. So I ended up sleeping. When I woke up, y'all, I had this, this word playing. It was just like, one of those 8-hour words where it's just, declaring. I woke up like 3 p.m, and immediately from my phone, I hear, it's where I've been playing for hours, y'all. Immediately I hear, sleeping off the spirit of infirmity. So last night, y'all, the enemy did not want me to rest. He will always tell me, oh, you're gluttonous, because I like to try different foods. I don't. I snack a lot, okay? It's not that I'm overeating, but I might eat 5 different things in my meal. But I'm still not overeating, because why? Who wants to be bloated? Nobody wants to feel like that. But I guess the Antichrist be shaking his finger at you because he knows that he is a very greedy person. Okay? So, or very greedy spirit. And And so basically what it comes down to is I feel like I was literally worried sick. And I feel like I haven't even been eating right. I feel like even in the last room, like it was just not eating the stuff that I really preferred to eat. And it was just, some things that was not adding up, like, not the right fruit and, stuff like that. Like, I'm telling God, I'm like, God, if my intentions was pure, then why am I suffering like this and stuff? And so, yeah, I'm just basically like, I don't know. I just hadn't really been eating right. I had just been worried sick, honestly. Worried sick, not really trusting God in full measure, but having a lot of anxiety and worry still. So maybe that does come back to, not smoking and drinking because... So I feel like for celebration purposes, yes. But to depend on it, literally... I don't know. I mean, I know, so we do need to keep our body as a holy temple, so maybe that's the answer right there, okay? If I have everything that I need in Jesus, then why do I need to, do this stuff? We shouldn't be celebrating until we get to heaven, until everyone is, all God's people are, delivered. So maybe that's my answer right there. But, yeah, so basically I've been worried sick. And even I had to kind of like force myself to really eat. Last night I didn't finish my fries, but I really wasn't even in the mood to eat. The enemy just attacking me so bad, so people pleasing, worrying and stuff, and my sister kind of going through her stuff still, and so just worrying so bad. And so I felt like I could not rest, but that was a lie straight from the enemy, because God is in control. God is in control. Amen. So I felt like I couldn't even rest though. And I see with my son's dad, he wanted me to have like this this Jezebel spirit, like I said, be by kind of have like this bisexual. It's like almost like a bisexual spirit, okay? That's what I was telling you in one of the last videos, was because literally like being so full of yourself, like, oh, well, I don't care if he's real friendly with other females, because I know, like, it's me at the end. Like, he coming home to me at the end of the day. Gilly, back up. Sorry, my son really does have a right to be impatient at this point. The enemy is trying to prolong this, But, so, relaxation, right? So, I was really afraid to rest. And I feel like that's even why I'm afraid to put the partying down, because it's like, do you really trust God in the fullness? Do you really? And so basically what it come down to was me eating last night. And I was really even afraid to sleep, like, so much, y'all. I was like, am I being lazy? Because the enemy. People saying, well, how are we going to get to the promised land? Will you be like, just all this stuff, and just still, like, that's why I feel like wisdom, like, what am I really, it's a big calling, y'all. The answers that I searched for, I could not find nowhere, y'all. I could not find nowhere. This is a bad angle. I could not find the answers that I needed nowhere. And it was like, that's why I feel like I'm leading, really leading something, leading God's people to, out of this enslavement. And so even my dad, it depressed him so bad how his dad was. And his dad was like this man in the Marines, real oppression type stuff. And it was almost like he passed down I don't know, like, it depressed my dad real bad. I would say maybe though it was maybe because of his pride. But either way, I see, oh, this government stuff ain't nothing. Y'all regular people. And in the South, they was trying to hold on to that so bad, because even whenever we was at the shelter, and I told y'all, they told me, we don't care if you do that YouTube stuff, but just don't, but not doing it here, whatever. And so that was another situation where I was like, oh, y'all not trying to help at all. Like, y'all really not trying to help at all. And it was like, I already seen it kind of with my mom and child, yeah. So yeah. Even people that want to become that, like people that want to become like, child, no. So like you don't gotta go run office in order to have influence on people, right? And so that's why it says there will be a kingdom that will break into parts and consume all these other kingdoms, and it will last forever, right? And so, child, like, you don't need a government title in order to have influence, in order to help, right? That is just a power. That is just a power hungry thing. That is just like I said, divination, or a controlling spirit, right? A manipulative spirit, kind of like Satan, or the serpent in the garden, right? And so saying, oh, well, Adam, he's allowing me to slither around in this garden. Like, you really gonna allow that? Okay, so, and I feel like, my kingdom spouse, baby, oh my goodness, every time I just talk about or think about him, like, just fill my heart. You don't gotta go run office in order to have influence on people, right? And so that's why it says there will be a kingdom that will break into parts and consume all these other kingdoms, and it will last forever, right? And so, child, like, you don't need a government title in order to have influence, in order to help, right? That is just a power. That is just a power hungry thing. That is just like I said, divination, or a controlling spirit, right? A manipulative spirit, kind of like Satan, or the serpent in the garden, right? And so saying, oh, well, Adam, he's allowing me to slither around in this garden. Like, you really gonna allow that? Okay, so, and I feel like, my kingdom spouse, baby, oh my goodness, every time I just talk about or think about him, like, just fill my heart with it. So, basically, I like this filter better. I don't know why I was using the one at first. I think it popped up first. It was some funny shit, basically. Okay, so that's just more confirmation. Y'all, so I got distracted with my son, and I had to spin back real quick because I told y'all he's getting impatient. So, listen, y'all. I'm almost done. My kingdom spouse, right? I had met him when I was in high school. I felt the whole connection, y'all. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, God was like him. Child, like, no exaggeration. Like, I was literally in love when I met this man. Literally. Okay. Y'all, I can't believe I'm on here like this. But literally, like, never in my life have I ever, like, I don't even focus. So, literally, that's what I felt like. The oppression, though, it was just like, he was dealing with so much. Like, he didn't emotionally have the capacity. Okay. And that was the excuse that I was kind of making for my son's dad. But basically, my son's dad came on slithering in so that was probably when I was like 16, 17. But my son's dad came slithering in when I was 19. Like, oh, girl, but I can do it right now. Like, girl, you going back to school, back to work for them people that oppress your people? Like, are you really sure you want to do that? And so that was a weakness. But the thing is that God's people searching for heaven, right? This is why I talk so much about this. This is why I talk so much about y'all. The enslavement, the oppression. So I fell right into what my mom and my grandmother had fallen into. And the reason was my mom, I was dealing with my mom's pain. My mom was kicking me out, right? I didn't have no family, no nothing. Like, I was just out here trying to rent rooms. And then I'm like, okay, so am I literally going to go to oppressors, or am I going to go to right here? What looks like is, I don't know. I just felt like it was more fruitful. I felt like I was about to go serve money. And then God was like, or then I had this opportunity to go be a wife. And I'm like, oh, this is much more godly, right? And so it was this image, materialistic type of thing that my dad had kind of instilled in me. And so a lot of times the enemy was trying to like distract me with my mom and stuff. But child, okay, so I'm not going to rant forever. But, basically came because Adam was vulnerable. Because Adam was only human. Listen, baby. You was only human, baby. You was only human. This is why we need that salvation. This is why it's nothing but God's grace, okay? Listen, y'all. Even that's why people like, I don't know, like listening to like certain music and stuff, and people will say like, oh, but this person is this, that, and the third. They're not no crazy. Why are you listening to the music? I feel the pain, baby. I'm praying for y'all. Like I know what you're going through. Like, I feel it. I do. I really do. And so let me not go on forever. But okay, so where was I? So yeah, my kingdom spouse. Basically, I was thinking, I done seen a Snapchat and got all sidetracked. Let me go look at the last video. I'm so sorry, babe. If you are here, just know God has a calling. Like, if you hallelujah. Listen, so basically, we was on the relaxation thing, and I got into the whole enslavement thing and the whole how to go off on that again. But my king was supposed to serve that. Hi, baby, if you watching. Probably is. Definitely. But listen, y'all, or will. But listen, y'all, so the relaxation. I'm here like, dang, I can't relax. I can't, like, am I really gonna sleep? And it was this oppression spirit on me so bad. And last night, that's why I made the video, the pain and the oppression, right? And so last night, I'm just like, dang, God, can I really, like, go to sleep? The enemy was attacking my spirit. But I knew in my mind, and I knew from the wisdom, I knew the wisdom was telling me it's beyond the knowledge of good and evil, right? The wisdom, because wisdom is from God. The knowledge of good and evil is just from that divination control spirit. Okay, let's address it right now. Hello. But no, so I'm like, it was really like a mental fight for me to really relax. And so the thing is, I slept in, baby. And there is still a small little, there's still the little swelling on like my duct, but the lump is not there anymore. And it's not painful, and it's not just bigger than the other one. But literally I had went to, and actually the other one seems to be bigger now. But no, so I woke up late in 11. My baby boy let me sleep in, which is really a big step for him, because he's very clingy. He's very much, loves his mommy. Like my kingdom spouse said, like, oh, he don't like when his mommy gone. No, he don't. So yeah, it's really like that, and that's why I knew too. Like, if your child's supposed to cling to the mother, then why do I gotta send my child to daycare? That's a word for you, baby. Miss ma'am. Hello, mom. Hi, mom. I love you. No, but really, listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. So I'm not gonna go too far. Let me stop. Let me stop reading. Child. Okay, so I woke up late. Everything. So, listen, this guy about to leave because I feel like somebody need to hear this. So the signs was there, but it wasn't until God's grace had gave me wisdom. Okay, so we had to go through this. I don't know who need to hear this, but we had to go through this, baby. And you gotta stop holding on to that pain and depression. We had to go through it. You need to get back to your secret place, baby, because God is the only one that can fix it. You can be mad all you want, but God is the only one that can fix it. Okay, he's not the one to be mad at, baby. God was just being gracious. Even when it came to serpent, it allowed him to be in the garden still after he had cast him out of. Yeah. Listen, y'all. So he knew his humans could do it, baby. All right, listen. He knew the enemy was a liar, and that's the thing that really comes down to for me too, is like I knew how I've been gracious. I knew that kingdom marriage had been a calling in my life. Okay, I knew that there was no way that the enemy was going to take my Joseph from me. I knew that there was no principality or power that could separate me from the love of Jesus Christ, right? But why did I know this? Because of God's grace. Okay? So, and I know that now. I know. So, God knew. When y'all say, why was the serpent in the garden? Why was he allowed in the garden? Baby, because God knew his intentions was pure. Okay? That's just some peace for somebody. Okay, y'all. So the whole Jay situation. So, they be joking about the whole Jay situation. And I actually had one Jay situation when I was in 9th grade. My first boyfriend. Terrible, terrible, terrible man. He was... This is all I gotta say. I was in 9th grade. He was in 12th grade. Okay? Period. Then I had this other Jay who was in middle school, actually. And he was just, like, strangely obsessed with me. And it was just to a point where it was, like, that's not normal. That isn't normal. And then I also, whenever I met my son's father, he told me his name was Jay. He didn't even go by that. Mind you, he did not even go by that. So y'all, those other, yeah. I'm just gonna come out here and say this because this is for my mom. This is really for my mom right now. So basically, Jay, right? So he had told me that he went by Jay. That was a lie. But that's what he had told me. And so then, before I had met him, my mom was dating. She was messing with this dude for a minute. And his name was Jay. And he was known for just being like hateful to my sister and stuff. And he even tried me up. He tried my son up. That's Jezebel. Jay. Okay. I see now. But no, listen. So he even tried me up. Yeah, he really did. He tried me up, and he was trying my son up, and I had to tell him by himself. And my mom put him in place, but I think my mom also realized, like, dang, why is this my weakness? So I prayed for my mom. No. So I'm sorry. This will be the last little segment. So yeah, that was basically the end of the story. But basically, I feel like I had to share that because that was that one little scarring that was left there. And it's gone. It really is gone, y'all. It really is gone. So, yeah. that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are staying blessed. So, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This is the one last thing. So God would not blind his children, right? He didn't blind you. You're just perishing for lack of knowledge, right? That fallen angel, he had all the knowledge, baby. Knowledge of good and evil, right? But the thing that truly matters is wisdom. And that's why they fell out of the garden until we get back to wisdom, okay? So let's get right in. Yeah. That's it for this video, y'all. I love y'all so much. Gilly is getting extremely impatient right now, but he's a baby boy, so I understand. He don't know no better. But yeah, y'all. You know, that's crazy because I had to really I had to come let it be known about that. Even though that was pretty difficult, but I did have to come let that be known. Let's play my sister too, but she yeah. Anyways, baby. Get off the bed with that. Get off the bed. Okay. Gilly says bye. Bye. So, yeah. Basically, in the day, it's almost like a mockery spirit. It's definitely a mockery. But yeah, so basically at the end of the day, it just come down to, I felt like I had to share that because it's not just about you, baby. You got other people that's looking up to you. Okay? I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but you got other people that's looking up to you. Or other people that's depending on you. That's how the body of Christ is working. So, that little scar is going to affect you. It's going to affect you, okay? It's going to leave a little, it's going to leave a little, it's going to leave a little, it's going to impair you, right? Because that's why it's important to heal so that you don't bleed on the people that didn't hurt you, right? That's why unless you really address and you really care about others, right? You're just going to walk around scarred up. Ooh, baby, it's completely gone. You going to walk around scarred up, baby. You going to walk around scarred up. Okay, and my sister was wondering why I was so emotional while I'm like, talk to me. The enemy will do stuff like that. My son just dove off the bed, y'all. He don't never listen. But yeah, you gonna walk around scarred up, until